Alrighty, good morning. Here's a quick little video to remind you of a couple of things about integers and their absolute values and how to compare them and some of the different comparison symbols like greater than, less than. So just a quick refresher. Opposites means you change the sign. So the opposite of a positive would be a negative. The opposite of a negative number would be a positive. So just the straight opposite of 20 would be negative 20. It's the same number on the other side of 0 if you were to think of a number line. So opposites are just negatives or opposite signs, different signs. So the opposite of negative 10 is already negative, so the opposite of a negative is a positive, it's positive 10. The number doesn't change, just the sign does. What's this symbol mean, these two lines? Here's my 2, and there's two straight lines, like they're bars around the 2. Those two bars mean absolute value. Absolute value is the distance away from 0 that a number would be on a number line. And a distance is always positive. Remember, if you walk from here to wherever you're going, let's say you walk 20 feet. If you walk forward, you go 20 feet in distance. But if you turn around and walk backwards that 20 feet, the distance you went is still 20 feet, even though you walk backwards. So absolute value will always be a positive answer. So the absolute value of 2 means how far away from 0 on a number line would 2 be? And it's 2 units away. Number doesn't change. Here they just give you the words, the absolute value of 6. That means how far away from 0 is 6? It's 6 units away. I'm going to skip ahead to try to find the negative one. Let's take it out here. No such luck. All right, let's try this one and see if I get, try to get one that has a negative in the absolute value. Oh, here's a good one. What's the absolute value of 0? How far away from 0 is 0? It's 0 away. No, I can't seem to find one that's negative. Sorry. There we go. The absolute value of negative 30. Well, negative 30 is 30 units to the left of 0 on a number line. So even though it's a negative, how far away is it? The distance is 30 units away. So the absolute value will always be a positive number as your final answer. Okay. That's a simple little reminder of opposites and absolute value. Now we'll move on to number lines and comparing. If you have to pick a sign, here they give you 3 options. They give you this guy, and this guy. To compare these two numbers and decide what goes in the middle. Well, this is a greater than sign. This is a less than sign. And equal is obviously equal. Remember that the open side faces the larger number and the point faces the smaller number. So if I think of negative 6 and 9, and I locate them in a number line, well, negative 6 is right here, and 9 is way down here. You know that left is lower and right is larger on a number line. You should also know that 9, any positive number, is larger than any negative number, negative 6 in this case. So negative 6 is going to be less than negative 9. Point to the smaller number, open to the bigger number, submit. All right, let me jump ahead. Here we go, 67 and 0. Is 67 bigger than 0 or smaller than 0? 67 is greater than 0. Open to the bigger number, point to the smaller number, submit. Here we go, negative 2 and 6. One more. Negatives are always smaller than positives, so the negative 2 is on the left side and the 6 is on the greater side. All right, negative 25, negative 23. This is where it gets confusing, or not confusing. A larger negative number is actually even smaller than a smaller negative number, because the negative 25 is further to the left on the number line than negative 23 would be. Owing $25 is more than owing $23. So it's even less. You're even more in debt. So negative 25 is less than negative 23. All right? So let's take a look at putting these numbers in order. So this is a click and drag. See, I can move these numbers around. I'm going to put them in order from least to greatest, smallest to biggest. Well, out of these numbers that are all negative, the largest negative is actually the smallest number. So negative 74 will go all the way to the left, and then negative 43, and then negative 17. And there's my order. Here we go, I have positives and negatives. Well, I know that negatives are always smaller than positives, so I'm going to slide that negative over to the left to begin with. Negative 4 is the smallest number. And now compare these positives. Well, 1 is smaller than 20, so here I go. My least to greatest, yeah. Negative, small positive, larger positive. Submit. All right, and last but not least, now we'll put those two skills together. I have absolute value, and I have to figure out whether it's greater or less, or equal in this case, possibly. So the negative 7's absolute value, remember absolute value makes all the numbers positive, so the absolute value of negative 7 would be 7. This number is 7. And this number is also 7. So that means that if I'm comparing these numbers, they are equal. Let me clear that off real fast. Negative 9 and the absolute value of negative 8. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8. And now negatives are always smaller than positives, so negative 9 will be less than a positive 8. So I'm going to choose the less than. All right, and that's how you complete those pretty quickly and easily, hopefully. Just comparing numbers. But being able to compare numbers is a very important skill. Even when these numbers get, the score gets higher, the problems don't get any more difficult. Just look carefully. This will be positive 74, and this is negative 74, so the positive will be greater than the negative. Good luck, have fun.